So glad that you're here joining us today. Joining me is Roshni, and we're going to be having an awesome conversation from her perspective, her story, and how that's guided her today. Couple quick housekeeping things. Be sure you're hitting the subscribe button and the like button to help this video be seen by more people. We totally love supporting women and helping get their stories out into the world more. So those things help there. And the comments also help a lot in encouraging us, helping you, be able to ask questions, join into the conversation while we're live, or if you're catching the replay on the replay as well. With that, I'll turn it over to Roshni to say a few things about her. I think you're going to love her story. You can read the full bio in the description below as well. But Roshni, give us a little behind the scenes. What's not in the bio that we should know? And then I'll jump into the first official question.
Oh, thank you, Amanda, first of all, for having me on your show. I know it's a great topic that you are covering for women and everyone in general, which is around wealth and money. So, yeah, thanks for doing that. A little bit about myself. I'm Roshni, and I am joining this conversation from India. And I'm a strategic sales expert, and I work with women entrepreneurs, helping them increase their sales conversations, the number of conversations they are having with their potential clients, and the conversions from them. Now, the reason that I do that is because in my entrepreneurial journey of 13 years, I have come across so many talented women, and they have huge potential of making something great out of their business. But although many have the aspirations to build a big business, but they don't necessarily have the acumen to do that. And that's why, since I come from a business background, I have business in my genes because my father is a serial entrepreneur. I thought that I might as well help them grow their business, not just grow my business, but help a lot many more women. So that's why in 2016 I got into consulting. Prior to that, I had an e-commerce business, a digital business, which I did for 6 years before getting into consulting. I'm also a TEDx speaker, author, and a podcast host, much like Amanda. And my podcast is Ace the Sales, where you can learn everything about sales, selling skills, and strategies and mindset around sales. That's about me.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot there that we're going to dig into. And I think I'm going to learn a lot from this conversation because I don't consider myself to be a great salesperson at all. So before we jump into some of those practical lessons and things, let's go back to young Roshni when growing up with a dad who was an entrepreneur. What was money like growing up?
Oh yes. Actually, when you ask me this question, Amanda, it actually takes me back down the memory lane to realize what was it that we used to talk about money, and then I realized we never used to talk about money. There was no money conversation happening in the house. I mean, I, as a child, never came to know where the money was coming in from. So of course my father used to go out to work, but I didn't know how much he was earning, whether we were rich or poor. I didn't know. That concept of rich and poor was not clear because, however, we were very well provided for. We had a very comfortable life. But sometimes we were just given whatever we demanded. And at other times, we were said, oh no, this is not right to buy right now. Let's do some other time. So the concept of whether we can afford something or not was not at all clear, even till the time when I went to college. My fees was covered by my father. I never asked how did he cover it, and he never told me that how he managed. So it was something very mysterious. Money was never talked about.
Okay. Sounds about right in terms of being having a father who is a business owner. There's probably ups and downs in terms of cash flow, and you
Exactly.
experienced that without knowing that was kind of the why behind it. So you finish college, you're now out on your own learning about money as an adult, figuring out what, how adulting works without much background, right? Like all this mystery around it. How did that go for you? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh, honestly speaking, it went very bad because, like I said, there was no conversation about money. So I didn't have uh, a very realistic concept about budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
I was very bad at making budgets, keeping a stock of how much I was spending in college, even up till the time when I started my first business. Budgeting and making financial projections and plan was the toughest and the most ickiest thing that I got into. Even at a later stage of time when I started my first business, I used to ask my father that you have been an entrepreneur all your life. How did you manage business and cash flow? And he was like, nothing really. Money comes, money goes. It's very cyclical. So I was like, okay, that's a very simple notion and a definition, but that's not how things work. I mean, I have a tough time making decisions on what to spend on right now, what I should invest in, whether I have the enough resources to buy a particular item or do a hiring in my business, whether it will be covered for 6 months or 1 year. So initially, it was a steep learning curve for me to manage money in my business as well as personal life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine the what any like times that became like transitional, pivotal moments that help like that you can relate. Like I can't. This surprised me, or I learned this thing, or that have brought you to where you are today.
Oh, yes, definitely. So, for me, the entire concept around money changed when I did this particular coaching program, which was actually 3 years back. And that's the time when I understood money as an energy. So, the definition that I got about money was that it's just an energy exchange between two people. When you are in a business situation, you buy things for your personal consumption as well. And that's when I realized that yes, money is just a tool for me to get what I want. And now I am so much comfortable about talking about money and openly saying that yes, I love money. I want to earn more money. I am abundant. So those kind of concepts came in. In fact, recently, like I said, that there is no money conversation in our house when I was a child. Recently, it just so happened that all of my family people were sitting. My son was there. He is now 18, and my parents were sitting. My parents-in-law were also there. My husband, everyone was sitting. Then a particular incidents from years back came in, where the parents were saying, oh, money is such a bad thing, rich people do bad things, and it's not good to have too much money. And at that point of time, I realized that if I don't speak up right now about the right and wrong of the money and the actual definition of it, my son will have a very bad mindset around money. And it's my choice and my job to correct his mindset. So at that moment, I corrected everyone and spoke out that no, money is not bad. It's about how you earn it and how you spend it. It's
Yeah.
just a tool. So don't attach badness or something like a stigma around money. It's about the methodology of earning or spending money.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something which I had to do, and since then I'm actually making it a point to have money conversations with my son also.
Awesome. I love that. It sounds like a great like pivotal moment that showed you actually I can talk about this, and I have no idea, you don't even need to share how parents and in-laws and husband reacted. The most important thing is the focus on your son and that he's hearing a different perspective. So kudos to
Exactly.
you. Way to have confidence and the guts to speak up and share where you're coming from. Women, please hear that. Do these things. Our children depend on it, but also the entire world does. So, what other kind of money lessons have you learned that you'd want to pass on to kids and maybe future grandkids?
So one thing which I really want everyone to understand, and especially the newer generation, is that being rich is not bad. You can create your own definition of rich when it comes to money. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
uh, how much of it feels good to you, how much you want to earn, it is totally your definition. I mean, you are free to make a choice of how you want to earn it and enjoy it. As long as you are not hurting anyone, you are not cheating anyone, it is okay to have as much money as you want in the world. So it's not something bad. That is one thing which I want people and the next generation to understand.
Yeah, yeah. Where like I know you're a person who thinks about impact and the difference you're making in the world. How does like that pursuit of it's okay to be rich jive with, wanting to make the world a better place, especially for the most vulnerable?
Yes, yes, very, very good question, Amanda, because I think income and impact are correlated. You cannot do good in the world if you don't have the means and the resources to do it. Money is, after all, a resource. Even charities and the NGOs need to sell their cause in order to get donations from their fundraisers, funders. Even temples like ISKCON send across their people selling books and whatnot, because yes, money is needed by everyone. So generating income is must in order to create impact. Even if you are an entrepreneur, because I work a lot with this demographic, women entrepreneurs, I work a lot, and that's why it becomes so much important for them to be able to sell their product, program, or service in order to create the impact and the transformation they want to bring into the world. So my message and encouragement to all the entrepreneurs out there is to first of all embrace selling, fall in love with selling, so that you are able to take your business solution to more prospects, potential clients, and the world at large. And once you are able to do that, then you are able to create more impact in the world.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for that. Well said, well encouraged words there. I couldn't agree more. Now, I know you're the expert here, so tell us. Okay, I agree. I want to make an impact. Thus, I need to increase my income. How do I go about selling better, selling more in order to make that happen? What's your
Right.
recommendations?
Right. So, in order to sell more, sell better, you have to start at the very basic and the foundational level, which is your mindset. So, there is a particular framework that I usually work with my clients on, which is the MAPS framework. And the first piece of it is the mindset. And the way we traditionally look at sales is as something very manipulative, pushy, or something which is about arm twisting techniques. And what happens is, since we have this notion of sales being bad, we tend to dislike the people who are selling. And when, as a business owner, you yourself get into that seller's shoes, you think that people will dislike you and you don't want to be disliked. And that's why you don't like selling. But then you have to just shift your mindset around, as and viewing sales as just a vehicle through which you are solving your client's problem. An entrepreneur, after all, is a problem solver, and sales is just the vehicle which is helping you deliver your solution to the client's problem. So, that is the first piece, which is the mindset.
Okay, love
The
that.
second piece, A, is the authentic selling. So, it is wrong to say that introverts cannot sell, women cannot sell. Everyone can sell. You just have to know what you are good at. You just have to play to your strengths. Whether you are a good storyteller, whether you are a good statistician, you are great at quoting data, figures and statistics. You are great at understanding the problem and giving a customized solution then and there. You are a great thinker, or you are a great at networking and meeting people. That becomes sales prospecting. So just identify what is your authentic selling style and play to your strengths. The third piece is P, which is planning. This is the strategic part where you have to understand what is your goal and make 30, 60, 90-day plans, short plans, because we are in a dynamic world. Every day, every scenario, business scenario is changing. So be flexible with your planning, but have plan, have goals, and have specific income generating activities scheduled for every day, every week of the month. And lastly, S, which is for skills. Now, selling, people think of as some voodoo science or art which they have to learn. But the thing is that it is small bits and pieces of various skills which come together and make you great at selling. So, be it storytelling, be it asking great questions, be good at public speaking, doing good demos. These are all small little skills that you can acquire at any given point of time. Hire a trainer, hire a coach, work with a consultant. So, these are some things which you can acquire very easily. Make a learning development plan for yourself. So
Mm.
that is maps, mindset, authentic selling style, planning, and skills. So if you are able to master the maps framework, you will be able to master selling.
So I love this. This is amazing. I've never heard this before. This is I'm in awe. I'm super big fan of acronyms too. So you're hitting my sweet spot here. The what so what I my like hypothesis, tell me if this is true, is a lot of people start with the S, the skills. They just try to jump in, learn the skills of selling.
Exactly.
And that's actually the worst place to start, because if like I love that that's at the end, and that you're working on your mindset, you're finding your authenticity, you're planning, and then you look for the skills and what's missing and how that can actually build on top. Because you learn a skill that doesn't, it's not authentic for you, it's not going to work. It's point like a waste of time, would you say?
Exactly, exactly. You've nailed it the right way, because everything starts with the mindset. We think that yes, we will be great at objection handling. We will be a great negotiator. We will just go out there and kill the every difficult situation and take the deal home. But the thing is, you will freeze out there sitting in front of your customer or the buyer if you don't have the right mindset. Understanding your own emotions, understanding your buyer's emotions, and then adapting your selling style to match those emotions. These are all step by step things that you need to follow in a sales process. So and, you are right. Don't jump directly to skills, but follow the process of mindset, selling style, planning, and then skills.
I love that. And that feels like a very feminine way to approach things as well, which I love. And it has to be a woman that came up with it. This is your acronym, or did I?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
So I have been working since a long time with women specifically, and in fact, the entire basis of my consulting and coaching work is the sweet spot where people want to grow sales, but they don't like selling. So this was a contradiction that I saw that people are hugely struggling with, and that became my sweet spot. In fact, for your listeners' benefit, if they want to have a revision of this MAPS framework, it is available at roshnibaronia.com/maps, MAPS, and they can go there and read a little bit more about what this MAPS framework is.
Great. I'm going to get that URL and put it into the chat as well so people can get it. As I'm doing that, Um, what else did you want to make sure that you shared today with our listeners and watchers?
So, one thing that I would like to share with all the entrepreneurs out there is that what I said earlier, to embrace selling. So, what do I mean by that? Embracing selling means that taking the time and the out and making the effort to understand what is the part you are struggling with in the entire sales process, because sales is not one activity. There are a lot of activities that go into it. You do marketing into it, you actually do client conversations, you deliver great service and create a customer success journey in your business. So it is from the start to the end a long drawn process. And if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, solopreneur who is managing all the process and all the steps of it, be mindful about how much you can take and what comes to you easily. And that's why I said that authentic selling style is very, very important, because that will help you uh, decide and design your sales process also. So this journey from start to end will become easier for you if you embrace selling, align it to your individual style, and do what comes easily to you. Play to your strengths. Everyone has got something or the good other, something or the good in themselves. It's just we tend to be very, very critical about ourselves. So stop being so critical and look for the good stuff, and I'm sure you will be able to find the strengths which you can implement and integrate in your sales process.
I love this. This has been such a fun conversation. And how you just said that made me think actually we could take maps and apply it to money as well, right? You start with the
Yes,
mindset, then you look for the authentic, what's true for you, how are you going to play to your own strengths, and then you plan, and then you learn some skills, right? Like, and rather than jumping to the skills like we talked about, or
right.
rather than trying to do it like someone else would do it, playing it to your strengths can help you have a way more success than trying to just follow what everyone else does or what this other guru or teacher tells us. So
Absolutely.
yeah, apply the ladies, men, whoever people apply this to selling, apply this to your money. Think of where else have you jumped to skills when you need to do some mindset and some authenticity. Where in your life is this ringing true for you today? And then be sure you get the maps framework. I'm going to be downloading it and learning way more about this because I think it's an amazing way to think about selling, because I have to sell all the time. Like, we're all selling all the time. My 3-year-old is trying to sell me on getting chocolate, right? Like, things like that. So
Right.
let's figure out a way to do it in a way that brings us more joy and more life. And thank you, Roshni, for bringing us some of that joy today. It's been such a great
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for having me here.
Okay. Everybody, go click that link in the comments. And remember, the comments are still open. I'll be sure that we get back to you. And if there's anything you have for Roshni, I'll make sure she sees it as well. Okay. Thanks. Have a great day. And if you're watching this right when it's coming out, go Bengals, Who Day, Super Bowl weekend here in the US. So all the excitement in Cincinnati where I live right now. Okay. See ya.